come forward and tell us what the thing we should know about steps in curriculum development.
The first lecturer, Labe classmates, my name is Labe. I'm presenting for this group A. The group members are, as the name listed, I'm looking at it. I'm presenting a term paper on the topic steps in curriculum development. Steps in curriculum development. The curriculum itself is a dynamic something. When you look at curriculum, when you call curriculum as a word, it's a dynamic in nature. Because of human society, our human society itself is dynamic, and curriculum is related with human societies. It's also dynamic in nature. Curriculum has become a dynamic and social enterprise when you are discussing it in a school environment. Curriculum is a foundation for teaching and learning process. Development of programs of study, teaching learning resources, lesson plan, and assessment of students, and other things. So many things can be related to curriculum, and that is why you hardly find a fixed definition for curriculum. Some authors try to advance some definition of curriculum from here and there, but at the same time, they are looking at one aspect or the other because you cannot say all at the same time. Because one person look at it as a different thing, another person look at it as this. But at the end of it, it all geared towards getting the desired objective in the learner's environment. Since I said there is no definition of curriculum, though there are some authors that define curriculum in their own way, as you can see in the papers. For the sake of this paper, we shall be looking at the definition of Ronaldo's as cited in Mazwesi, Abuho, and Okwedi 2010. They look at curriculum. They see curriculum of a school as a formal and informal content and process by which learners gain knowledge and understanding, develop skills and alter attitudes, appreciations and values under the auspices of that school. We have decided to adopt this definition because of the type of program we are running. When you look at vocational and technical education, it involves formal and informal education. People go through vocational and technical education through an informal education and also informal education. That is why we have decided to adopt the definition of Ronaldo's for curriculum development in this aspect. Development on the other hand, can be seen as a systematic use of scientific and technical knowledge to meet specific objectives or requirements. Now, curriculum development. What is curriculum development? Curriculum development now addresses all this. We now say curriculum development is just as a process. It continuously strives to find newer, better, more effective and efficient means of improving the quality and relevance of education. As such, processes for curriculum development include reviewing, planning, developing, implementing, and maintaining curriculum. Curriculum development comes in different models when they are developing curriculum. If I read through models curriculum development of certain authors, it has been developed in different models. Some authors develop it in their own way, but at the same time, these models are developed according to their own philosophies. Some models are developed in philosophies of instrumental, communicative, artistic, and pragmatic. Those are the models curriculum are developed. But in all these models, there are elements that constitute the curriculum. These elements are what we call the process, the steps in curriculum development. These steps in curriculum development, according to Manusi et 2010, outline these models to include aims, outline the steps of curriculum to include aims and objectives, selection of content, selection of learning experience, organization and integration of content and learning experiences, and evaluation. These are the 5 basic steps in curriculum development. Ordinarily, before now, there have been only 4 steps. But by now, we have discovered that we have up to 5 steps basic steps in curriculum development. Some other persons may try to get it more than this, but at least these are the basic ones that we try to consider at our level here. You can see, if you look at the paper, the steps are put in a diagram way where you can understand it better. The diagram shows that these steps are not dependent on their own. They are independent of the other. They are interrelated. If you look at the diagram very well. And these steps as outline aims and objectives. That is step 1. In developing a curriculum, your first step is the aims and objectives. What are your aims and objectives? That is the first step you have to do. Now, we all know what is aims and objectives of anything. What are you developing? What curriculum are you developing? What are the aims and objectives? Now put them forward. The difference between aim and objective is just the matter of one being more general and the other one being specific. So, in developing your aims or in planning your aims and objectives, there are certain steps you must consider. These steps include selection of objectives. Here, the following questions are answered. When you are selecting your objectives, first, you answer the following questions. Are the objectives obtainable by the school? How long will it take to obtain given objectives? At approximately what age should striving for the achievement of given objectives be initiated? To what extent should objectives be repeated in subsequent years of schooling? In what way are objectives multiple in their effects? So those are the things you consider in selecting your objectives. Now after that, you make a statement of objectives. In selecting your objectives, the following principles now guide you. Objectives must be directly and appropriately related to learning experience and maybe other things that are related are stated in the paper. You go to stage 2. In stage 2 is selection of content. Now, the objective stated in stage 1 offers considerable guide in selection of appropriate content. Content can be described as something the teacher teaches to the learner. Now, in selecting your content, there are things that guide you. When you select your content, how is the content valid? There is validity. How is it significant to the learner? How is it interested to the learner? How is it learnable? And other things that are involved in selecting the content. If you look at the paper very well, those things are highlighted. What and what is involved. If you are getting what criteria you have to follow to select your content. Now the third one is selection of learning experience. Now people find it difficult to differentiate between learning experience and selection of content. But the interaction between the learner and other external conditions becomes the learning experience. Now, in selecting your learning experience, there are also criteria in selecting it. Is it practicable? Is it valid? Is it comprehensive? Is it suitable? Is it varied? Is it multiple in learning? And maybe some other principles, criteria that may be involved. Now you go to stage 4. Stage 4 is organization and integration of learning experience and content. Now after selecting your learning experience and content, you now have to organize them. Which one comes first, which one comes second, which one comes third, and like that, the last. You organize them. We all know how to organize this. But Tyler said in organizing your learning experiences, it's good that you should consider the following. It should be continuous. It must be sequence. There must be integration. Now stage 5. That is stage 5. Stage 5 in curriculum development is evaluation. You need to evaluate whatever you have done. Whatever you have done, you need to evaluate it. Is it good? Is it workable? Can we go on with this? Can we use it? And how effective it is? Now, evaluation has its own criteria, like validity, reliability, objectivity, practicability, and appropriateness. All these are criteria in selecting your evaluation process. Now, we look at these steps. When you look at these steps, what are the relevance to vocational and technical education in Nigeria? You see, vocational and technical education in Nigeria has a course has to do learning with the hand, the head, the hand, and the mind. And if you don't organize this in stages, if you don't organize anything in stages, one misses out already. It's the steps in the curriculum development that will aid develop the curriculum of vocational and technical education. Without the steps, you find it very difficult. You may take one thing first, and at the end, you will not yield the desired objectives. In summary, we look at this paper and say, although the theoretical and database continues, it has been generally agreed that curriculum should be seen as an overall plan for instruction. It consists of statements of aims and objectives of content in terms of theoretical knowledge, practical skills to be acquired, attitude towards work, and necessary support for materials and use, its presentation, and subsequently its evaluation for ongoing improvement. In this term paper, it is seen that curriculum is a plan for learning, and that there are different models of curriculum development in which are basically an expanded or compressed basic principles of curriculum development. The basic steps of curriculum development discussed in this paper include aims and objectives, selection of content, selection of learning experience, organization and integration, This basic step no doubt has an implication on design and vocational education curriculum in Nigeria, as can be seen in the relevance of the steps of curriculum development. Thank you.